Most of the time, close air support uses bombs, with rockets and guided munitions coming in close. Still, autocannons would always have a special place in ground strikes. And while open-top anti-aircraft guns don't take more than a biplane with machine guns, medium and heavy tanks are much tougher nuts to crack, which means you'll need something special. Today we'd like to talk about Soviet aircraft with 45mm cannons. And by the way, they've recently received new APHE shells. Let's start with a plane with the lowest battle rating, the Yak-9K. Its amazing flight performance makes this prop extremely effective. Its cannon can even pen the sides of most tanks found at this BR, while the heaviest targets still have thin roofs. With a shell that contains almost 30 grams of explosives in TNT equivalent, you won't need a second hit often. The disadvantages of the Yak-9K include a tiny ammo pool, only 29 shots, and weak auxiliary weapons, only a single large-caliber machine gun. To prevent wasting precious APHE shells on air targets, we recommend you set up separate keys for shooting main and auxiliary calibers. You can do that by going to Controls, Aircraft, Weaponry. Our next aircraft is the Yak-9 UT, and this one meets much more serious opponents. Most tanks at this level can only be damaged by shooting at their roofs in a dive, so you better reserve those low-level passes for attacks at anti-air and other light vehicles. Auxiliary weapons are much better here though. With two 20mm autocannons, you can deal with neighboring flyers in a very short time and return to helping your ground allies. That's all the available light planes with 45mm cannons, but our game also features heavy twin-engine machines. The TIS-MA combines pretty good flight performance and not one, but two cannons, with a total ammo pool of 100 shells. It also brings one undeniable advantage over the Yaks. It can carry bombs or unguided rockets. Two 500-kilo drops can be used to neutralize the heaviest opponents, after which you can get a lighter aircraft to perform dive attacks with cannons. It can also defend itself against hostile aircraft with two forward-firing 20mm cannons and a rear turret with a large-caliber machine gun. The next twin-engine aircraft is the Tu-1. This plane is the epitome of a heavy fighter. It feels massive and clumsy, even compared to the TIS-MA, and dive attacks are much trickier on it. On the other hand, the Tu-1 can boast a much higher maximum payload, up to 3 tons, and impressive auxiliary armament in the shape of 23mm cannons. The heaviest carrier of 45mm guns is the Su-8. It's also the only plane that can bring a battery of 4 such guns, with a total ammo pool of 200 rounds. Only, its flight performance makes landing shots with those cannons a very demanding affair. The best way to use this attack aircraft is to make low-altitude passes. Even a single salvo of those 4 guns is enough to shred any light vehicle. You can drop bombs on other targets. And what are your favorite large-caliber aircraft in War Thunder? Care to share any personal records? Tell us in the comments, and see you in our next video.